I think when we're on StreamYard, people hear us immediately.
Yay!
Hey guys.
Morning, everybody. How are you? We're back. We're back home. We're back home for the foreseeable future.
How are you all? Oh God, it's so nice to hear all your voices.
Yay!
Yeah, Lucy B, Fiona Cromack, Keely Windle. Now, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to the channel. We do Coffee Moaning 6 days a week where we can. Obviously, life and work sometimes gets in the way, but we always let you know. We cover the news. We try and do it entertainingly. We often end up rowing. We often end up tickling each other. Sometimes we even snog. So that comes with a healthy warning. So do subscribe if you haven't subscribed.
We also will do your happy birthdays, your happy anniversaries. So if you want us to, shout out and we'll write it down and we will do it at the end of the show.
And I always
also check out our channel because we've got our reality show, we've got movie reviews, TV reviews, mental health chats, gardening, cooking. We've got everything on this channel. You don't need the BBC, you don't need ITV, you just need us.
And if you like an extra dollop of membership fun, every week we do a No Name Sunday show. We're aiming for 2 live a month, and 2 pre-recorded. And we do members' lives too. We did a recent one in Cornwall, which you really liked. It was a really nice one around with you. And we're thinking of possibly jazzing up the members' lives, so it's less us just sat at the table and more us out and about. So, but that's the members area, and that's the only part of the channel that comes with a 37 pence a week fee, which is less than a daily edition of The Sun.
Wow, we know what cracks in the sun. Right, guys, on Saturdays on Coffee Moaning, we don't do this the rest of the week, but on Saturdays, we get the papers.
Yeah.
So we get a big pot of coffee, we get the papers, we choose stories that make us laugh, cry, annoyed, whatever, and
sometimes
then we just
they
have
make
a little chat.
And we do this, we can do this on the Saturday. Hey!
We need a Saturday jingle.
Hey!
Can we have a Friday jingle? Because
I'm talking to Christos about a Saturday.
Can we just have the Friday one because we weren't here for Friday?
I will have to lose. I can't. No,
I love the Friday jingle.
Yeah, the Friday jingle's good. I can't play it at the same time. You'll hear us, which would be doubly annoying. But how are you all? Faith Goodman, I know. Sorry about the Friday quiz. There will be one this week. There will be one towards the end of this week. Well, on Friday.
Faith is Faith's absolute.
It's Faith's favourite. Yeah, I realise it's been absent, but you know, I think most outlets, streaming services, shows have had a bit of a. I even noticed that Mark Commode and Simon Mayo have got replacements in on the Commode and Mayo channel to do reviews. That would be like, I don't know, us getting Dina in to do the movie reviews or something.
They probably love it.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we've got the news. So why don't we kick off with your first news story, Nat? Because this is quite entertaining. I just love
this story. I don't know if you've seen this. Now, Finland, the Finnish Prime Minister,
is she finished?
Has been accused by the opposition of doing drugs and being too wild because she turned up allegedly a little bit pissed at a club with her friends. She was dancing, she was smooching, she was whispering into each other's ears.
Yeah.
And it's all been, reported very sanely and properly. But I love this from Adrian Childs.
Has it been reported sanely and properly though? Is that why she's taking a drugs test?
No, I'm being facetious.
Oh, sorry, you were so facetious.
I was too facetious. So I just love this little piece from Adrian Childs. It says it was an American politico called Paul Bagler who said that politics is showbiz for ugly people.
I love that quote.
Now he's being brave here about commenting on the Prime Minister's looks because she is so beautiful.
I like it. You read this out to me earlier. I like his bravery.
There might be something in that, but he can't have clapped eyes on Sanna Marin. We're often told that Finland leads the world in education, saunas, various winter sports, well-being, and even indeed happiness itself. One of the happiest countries in the world, consistently year after year. To this list, we must now add heart-stoppingly beautiful prime ministers. I do not demean her intelligence or political acumen one bit when I award her the title of best-looking leader ever in the history of the world.
There she is.
The video of her going wild at a party has tipped me over the edge. Helsinki, here I come. I don't even want to meet her. I'd be rendered speechless. I just want to be able to vote for her. And why I liked that piece was because she is bloody beautiful. Everybody's going to be saying she's beautiful, but everyone's going to be really nervous of that because then is that sexist? And she's, So I used to work with Adrian. He is a very smart, very out there guy.
But can I just say, going back to the story though, I heard her talking on the radio about she's taken a drugs test a week after the alleged excitement has happened. So if there's anything in her sister, I mean, she's really wanting, she's not doing it because she thinks there's anything to prove. She's doing it to shut her critics up.
She's very, very cross at being
Very cross.
forced into this situation. And I think it's a fucking disgrace.
Well, hang on,
I mean, you know, why can't she go and have a dance?
Why couldn't Michael Gove without everyone absolutely pillorying
Michael
him?
Gove, yeah, but people just took the piss because Michael Gove
Danced weirdly?
you know, isn't the best looking man on the planet, and he danced badly. But why this is because she was really enjoying herself. She was beautiful, she's young, and therefore incredibly sexist attitude. She there must be drugs, must be irresponsible, you know, and I think it's grossly
I think
unfair.
she should have the right to party, and I personally think Michael Gove should have the right to party too.
Well, he did.
Angie Knowles.
He didn't have to do a drug test, did he?
No, that's true. Can everyone send Angie Knowles a hug? She's mental health not in a good place. Send her.
Hi, Angie. Big hug.
My first story is not really a story, but on the front of what is on the front of the papers today, lots and lots of papers are talking about Alex Ferguson coming in and saying that Ryan Giggs is a chilled, calm kind of guy, and he's never seen him lose his shit. I have a problem with all of this speculation around it. Is that it's a bit like the Amber Heard Johnny Depp case. We're never really going to fully know, are we?
So basically, in case you don't know, Ryan Giggs is in court at the moment because his girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, has accused him. He denies all charges of being violent, not only with her but with her sister as well. And he has admitted that he has never been faithful to any woman ever. He's in fact given a list of all the people that he was unfaithful.
No, and he's being very candid about that. He's got great candid. But I mean, Fergie was brought in as a character kind of witness to basically say he's never seen sort of Ryan Giggs. I think the important thing to say here is just because someone doesn't outwardly show their temper professionally or anything like that doesn't mean they can't privately. I think that would be a dangerous.
And we're not saying that of Ryan Giggs.
And we're certainly not saying it's the case.
Well, you know why, Mark? I'm glad you brought this story in because, like, very often, and now we've moved away from Ryan Giggs. We are not talking about Ryan Giggs, but I'm just talking generally about people that can be violent within their home. They are often the nicest person in the street to people, taking out the rubbish for the old lady. I'm thinking of somebody in particular that I knew, and a couple of people actually that I've known who've had violent partners who you would not think it in a million years. You know, they've got great jobs, they're kind, they're like engaging. So I just think, I agree with you. Just because somebody is calm and good at work doesn't mean.
But also, you can have obviously controversial characters such as Andrew Tate. And for whom there was footage of him actually hitting someone, wasn't there? Was
it footage? No, threatening.
Or threatening with a belt. Well, no, I think he'd actually hit someone. Anyway, this story, he's been knocked off Instagram and Twitter, Facebook. This is the Andrew Tate sort of misogynistic kind of figurehead, if you like, for incels and all this kind of stuff.
4.6 million.
He calls himself an entrepreneur and he's a former kickboxing world champion, but he's kind of he says things like this: bang out the machete, boom in her face, grip her by the neck, shut up the bitch. You don't really need to know much more than that. But this is a story less about him. We don't want to talk too much about him because we don't want to give him airtime. But schools are obviously very, very worried. Schools are fearful of the influence of TikTok misogyny. His posts and his TikTok posts have been so ludicrously popular. It's now a huge number of people who go and look at Andrew Tate are going to be people who go for curiosity. I mean, I think this is important to say. Otherwise, we're in a parlous state if the number of people who've watched his films is actually a reflection of what people think. But this, this is just, if you hear the name Andrew Tate, I don't know why. I just felt I needed to mention this. We've wanted to mention this a few times. I just think be mindful of your children, be mindful of your sons, and be mindful and careful of them talking about this person or watching this person.
One of our daughters said she's been absolutely shocked at some of the people that she knows that she's seen commenting, agreeing posts underneath him. So I would have a chat. If I had a son, I'd be having a bit of a chat with him about this chat.
Look into it yourselves and then have a chat.
I love this guy. I mean, my God, he's got a problem with nicotine. Azad Ziggy Stardust. So this chap, Azad Adam, had a 20-a-day cigarette
pack. Looks like Jermaine Clements from Flight of the Conchords.
Cigarette problem. £12.40 a pack. So what's £12.40 a week every day? 7 12.
Almost £2.
£12.40 a day.
Yeah, £14 would be £2. So almost £2. Let's just go there.
No, how much was he spending?
Almost
£12.40 a day.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were
for
saying how
7
much
days.
a day.
No, what are 12 sevens?
Oh, right. That'd be £84, wouldn't
So
it?
he's paying £84 a week. And he'd had enough of this. So he bought himself some Golden
right?
Virginia seeds and some simple equipment for £80 and started growing his own tobacco. He rolls his own fags, puts the filter in and everything. And now his fags cost him £3.60 a day.
That's quite something, isn't it?
But this
There
is
you
a
go.
man who's clearly never going to give up smoking.
How?
He could have considered going £12.40 a day. I've got to give them up. But no, he just thought, how can I make
How
myself?
good do you think his filters are?
They look pretty good.
I mean, just because they're cheaper, it doesn't mean that they're good. Yeah.
He's now in the process of making a kiln. He uses a pasta machine to slice up the tobacco in small
Does
pieces
he?
ready for rolling.
Oh, yeah, look, they're all hanging around him.
Yeah. And he's made a kiln in the garden now to dry them out.
Crikey.
Ingenious. We're going to see so much more
So
of this
much
sort
more
of thing where people
ingenuity.
are saving money.
So much more ingenuity. This story I just wanted to give a mention to. I've got a few serious ones. Fears for UK student after Saudis jail her. This is a woman who in the UK, whilst in the UK, she's studying for a PhD at the
This is
University
so
of
awful,
Leeds.
this story.
She retweeted dissidents' tweets on her Twitter. And when she went back to Saudi Arabia,
On holiday,
they've imprisoned her and sentenced her to 34 years.
They originally
in
gave
prison.
her 3
Yeah,
years.
and they've extended it.
And then on Monday, somebody just changed their mind
Yeah.
and she now has 34 years.
34 years. It's the destruction of me, my family, and the future of my children, she says. The University of Leeds
Horrific.
obviously says, we're deeply concerned to learn of this recent development. We're seeking on advice on what they can do. I mean,
But also,
any
what the hell
criticism of
was
the
she-
Saudi regime.
what the hell was she doing retweeting the dissidents?
And then going back. I mean, the terrible thing is that she should be
it's-
able to do that, but
she
surely with an
absolutely
intimate knowledge.
should.
I mean, I'm not suggesting for a minute she's brought this on herself, but you're just like,
But-
it's one of those situations. You can often, I think you can hold your head in your hands and go, oh, no.
Why did you do that?
And still disagree with the
Because-
end result.
Because these are maniacs out there.
Mm.
And actually it brings us to when, we went to Greece earlier this year and I was just looking up, I can't remember why. I think it was something to do with Nanny Di's medication. I was looking
That's
up
her
what
there.
medication you can take in and out of countries, right? Which it was all fine. But I was fascinated to see, like, in Japan and other countries, you can't take Vicks Vapor Rub without possibly being in trouble.
Well, Red Bull is illegal, isn't it? In America
Yeah,
or
so
something?
anywhere you go, even in Spain, there's some things that you could have here that you could, wherever you go away, just make sure you've just double checked what's
Yeah.
allowed.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be annoying if you got arrested for Vicks Vapor Rub?
Yeah.
But that poor woman. and
Keely
her
Windy,
family,
what did she
my
do?
heart
She
goes-
retweeted tweets by a dissident group.
Now, you see, Saudi
Critical
Arabia
of
saying it's
Saudi
a
Arabia.
dissident group, but we don't know what that tweet was. It might have seemed fairly innocuous.
Yeah,
but
maybe
she
she
did
didn't-
follow a few accounts that the Saudi
Zoe
government
Griffiths
didn't
Brown
like.
says Red Bull should be illegal.
Yeah, it's bloody
That's
terrible
a
stuff.
moot point.
Right, I love this. Gwyneth's talking bollocks again is the headline, but actually, what it is she said is, "You're not a man. You're a penis-bearing person."
She's being ironic.
Now, of course, she's being ironic.
Yeah, no,
because-
but a lot of people haven't. A lot of humorless people have not seen it.
Well, I just love it because, I mean, we as women have had an awful lot that we've had to have changed about our identity as women, haven't we? And I mean, there was the Keir Starmer had the piss properly taken out of him with his whole Willy gender debate thing, didn't he? But of course, Piers Morgan has taken great offence with her saying this. Gwyneth is talking absurd, virtue-signaling goop. A penis-bearing person is called a man. And I say this with some confidence as someone who bears one.
Is she being ironic, or maybe she isn't? Maybe she isn't being ironic. Maybe that is what we now call. Maybe that's what I am, a penis-bearing person. But you can never. That doesn't work
Oh, hang on.
grammatically.
She might be. Look.
If you bear a penis, isn't
What
to
she's
bear
saying-
something a choice? Don't you make a choice? to
Hang
bear-
on.
no,
She
bear-
said
no.
here, what we are saying collectively as a culture and as a society is, we are done with the paradigm of patriarchy of white men.
Oh, she's not being ironic.
Oh, she was being serious.
I thought she
Oh,
was being
shit, we
ironic.
got that all wrong.
Okay, guys. You saw that happen. You saw that happen
Just
on
move
here.
that one over
There you
there.
go. So I'm a penis-bearing human. Okay, Apple.
Oh, you penis-bearing human, you.
But that makes it sound like I'm
Ooh.
wielding it, and that's sort
No,
of,
no, it doesn't.
penis
Why do you have to
bearing.
be wielding into
Well,
it?
because there's something to bear. Well, anyway,
Bare arms, like in bare arms.
Apple hack alert. Anyone who's got an Apple phone,
Get your bloody thingy done.
Yeah, but also not only update it, but lots of phones aren't alerting you that there is an update waiting. So if you go to your settings, go to general, go to settings, go to upgrades.
Same with your iPad,
click on it.
Computer.
Yeah, iPad, iPhones, and MacBooks, and update, because there is quite a potentially serious breach of the system there.
But you haven't said what they've got to do. Turn their location services.
No. Yeah, no.
If they're late to it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you're late to doing it, yeah. Apple asked. I don't want to panic anyone. That's the reason I wasn't.
No.
If you're late to doing it, because this alert has been out for about 24 hours, there is the possibility that someone's got access into your phone and all that. Very slim possibility.
Very tiny.
But in order to preserve it and be absolutely certain, turn your location services off, your location.
But it is going to be extremely rare, but they're advising to do that.
But
so
do
it's a good
it
tip.
as a matter of urgency.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Get your update done and turn your location services. I'm absolutely shocked by this next story. First of all, I must say that Stephen Tompkinson has denied all charges, but he has been charged with grievous bodily harm. He's been accused. So he was yesterday appeared in court, North Tyneside Magistrates Court earlier this month, where he pleaded not guilty. The charge is so serious it had to be sent to Crown Court for trial by jury. Now, this followed a bit of a bust up late night in May last year outside his house. And he's been accused of fracturing this chap's skull in two places. Now, it's outside his house. What's happened? Could be anything, couldn't it? Could be absolutely anything. Could have been
provoked, could be provocative.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
again,
just don't
we
know.
don't know.
We've
But
got no
I must
idea.
admit, like you, when I first saw this story yesterday, I thought they were, you know what
Yeah,
often
I
happens
did.
in the coverage of TV dramas, they conflate an actor's role with the person in order to make a dramatic story, like, EastEnders star.
It was on the first page, wasn't it?
And I thought they conflated, I thought this was a role that
on the
he
front
had.
page.
Yeah.
I completely dismissed it. Like when we get ours, Mark and Nadia have major bust up.
Yeah.
And I've exposed my bust or something.
Well, that's true.
It's always ridiculous. The headline is nothing, but this is actually true.
So Stephen Tompkinson,
poor man who's got the fractured skull, and if Stephen didn't do this as he says, poor him.
Yeah,
absolutely petrifying.
But if he did do it,
to be facing possibly 5 years
in
prison.
Wow. Okay. There you go, Stephen Tompkinson. Haven't seen him around for a while. Happy birthday, Kirsty.
He's actually filming a new series.
Could you make a note of Kirsty Baker? We've got a pin somewhere.
Kirsty Baker, I'll put it on my phone.
Yeah, Kirsty Baker, happy birthday. At the end, we'll do it at the end, my darling. This story is a little bit depressing. Lake Windermere, somewhere that Nadia's always wanted to go. I found there years ago.
Go there.
Climate change fears over Lake. Well, you may never be able to go there again.
Why?
Climate change fears over Lake Windermere's Sea of Green. Kirsty. The sun. So Lake Windermere, there's this algae that's thriving due to the increase in temperatures.
Oh my God.
It's thriving so much that you can see it from space.
No, well, did you notice yesterday in Crystal Palace Park? There.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely bright green.
Boosted by abnormally warm weather, the algal blooms have been visible from space. Satellite images taken last week shows thick ribbons of blue-green algae spanning Windermere's northern basin.
I can't bear it if I never get to see Lake Windermere and all its beauty.
A local zoologist says it's worse this year than anybody can remember. And so they're cautioning people from getting into it. Dogs are at risk. Swimmers could be at risk. And in fact, there's a lot of incidents coming up these days. Be careful where you let your dogs swim. And if you let your dogs swim anywhere, because there's all sorts of algae that are dangerous. So yeah.
And Jamie Oliver's been talking about his wife, Jules, who's got 2 years on after having COVID that she got quite badly. She's really, really suffering with long COVID. And I just wanted to look at this because I know some of you guys are suffering with long COVID. And it's something that we have to keep talking about because there's an awful lot of people suffering terribly. You know, if you go along the scale from poor Derek Draper down to people that just feel a bit odd. I mean, Maddie has said to us, she said to me the other day, I've never felt the same since the pandemic, Mum. And I can see she's got well, don't forget, she lost her taste and smell for ages, which means that affects the brain. I mean, that's not your nose, that's the brain. So also they're saying for some people increased risk of dementia and all these horrible bloody things. So it's important we keep talking about it. So the people that are suffering, really suffering.
Dawning Harvey, it's wretched. Long COVID has changed my life.
Exactly. So it's really important that we do every so often think about those people and put the pressure on for them to keep investigating what could be done. And
Absolutely.
These hundreds of thousands of people mustn't just be forgotten.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's good when somebody in the public eye talks about it, because then it all gets spoken
just
about.
Read a few comments here just in relation to some of the stories. Lake Windermere, says Sharon Goods, really commercial nads. Go to any of the others, not that one. It's
really?
Not as pretty as the others either.
Where should I go?
Tracy Lynham says, shouldn't let dogs swim in the sea either. They can get salt water poisoning.
Really? God, Toffee loves swimming in the sea.
Zoe Griffiths Brown, I've still got bad fatigue 2 months on from COVID.
Yeah, we both had fatigue, didn't we?
Yeah.
I really noticed it in Maddie.
Still wheezing and coughing when lying down, says May Boo. And Holly McCreadle also says COVID is awful. And Elsa Pop, likewise, Windermere is too touristy for me. Lake Buttermere. I filmed at Lake Buttermere is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. This is obviously a hosepipe band's coming in London. But the police have said, there's a couple of kind of fantastic headlines here. Pipe down. Cops warn public not to phone them over water bans. They're worried there's going to be a surplus of these. Are civic issues, not criminal ones. They've say
got enough on their bloody
And this
plate.
Headline: Hosey Parker's a pain in grass.
Oh, I like that.
That's the Star. Yet again, the editors at the Star doing well. Nosy folk keen on grassing up neighbours. Get it? For using hoses in their gardens are clogging up already 999 lines. So if you're one of those people who's actually going to use a drone to go and shame people and show people, I think you really need to get a life. You really need to get a life.
But anyway, the water board can tell if you've been using your hose pipes. If you want be, they'll get their comeuppance eventually. So Generation Z, what do you understand Generation Z to be?
Is it Maddie's generation? Bit older than Maddie's generation. What is Generation Z, guys? Yeah, what is Generation X? That's Izzy's, isn't it? And what's Generation Z?
So there's this article today in the Guardian, and it's about. It's kind of difficult to know what it's about, because what it feels like it's about is that people aren't getting pissed in the way that they used to. Yeah. That young people don't drink anything like that their parents did.
Is that a bad thing?
And you can go to festivals and people are drinking water.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, it's a very strange article.
One aspect of it that I didn't agree with, though, was that they talk about how people are making their social circles smaller and how this can lead to social anxiety.
Well, this is the psychotherapist who works at the Central St. Martin's School of Art and Design. Some of what she says is true, and some of it I have seen with our own kids, as you will have done with your kids. Oh, thank you. With your kids, but post-pandemic. There is so much more anxiety. She said she's never seen anything like the levels of social anxiety that she got. And she has people in her room saying things like, I'm not going to drink because I know I'll pay for it with my anxiety. But again, but she seems to be suggesting that people are so careful that they're thinking about their health and their life far too early, and that and they're missing out on the risk part of being young, which we know is really important for brain development.
So do you think what they're talking about, this is an extension is this an extension of the thought that kids it was good for kids to play out, fall off trees,
I think
scuff their knees?
She's saying that we're in this risk-free comfort zone, and I see it in our kids. I see that they are so nervous about so many things that we wouldn't have thought twice about. Oh, I'm not going to do this because that will happen, and that will happen, and that will happen.
Reese and Neve say exactly pretty much 97 roughly onwards.
Oh, okay, thanks, Don. I think that a lot of that is down to, like, Maddie used to love the sea. Now she won't go in the sea. Now, so much of this is because the kind of content that they get on their phones. So say your kid's feeling a bit nervous about the sea, and then they start to look up the sea, and then they see somebody being eaten by a shark, or they've seen a terrible boat accident, or they've seen these things that are so rare, and they become so huge and real to them, and they've made themselves shit scared of everything.
Yeah, there is that. But I also think that something that's a bit dangerous that's creeping into that is that I think that a lot of and this has been studied and looked into, I think I think there's too much emphasis on having social groups that are too large, too big for what humans are designed to cope with.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of stress emerges from the idea that you should know X amount of people, you should be plugged into X social groups, you should be doing
course,
X
all the
amount
social
of
media
things.
platforms play on that,
Yeah,
because it's
absolutely.
how many people have you got following you, liking you, commenting on you, and so it's extremely stressful. I actually don't agree with most of that article, surprisingly, Mark. I really don't. And it says here, it's important to make bad choices sometimes.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, but not to the extent that you become. I wonder if David Batty, who wrote the piece, just wants everyone to be a sort of middle-aged sop, drunken soak.
Maybe younger people are making older people feel bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Maybe older people are thinking, what the fuck's going on? These kids have got a bit of a grip on things. What's going on? Why are we such arseholes?
And if a young person said to me as a psychotherapist, I'm not going to drink because I know it makes me anxious, I'm going to go, bloody well done.
Absolutely.
Why would you do something that's going to make you anxious?
This story I thought would appeal to your holistic nature, Nance. Now, I know you love things holistic, homeopathy, all this kind of stuff. And we have lots of conversations about this. I love this story. This is an ancient Cambridge University medieval book of cures has been discovered. But I just wanted to share with you, would any of you do this? And should we? Well, no, we can't test them because they involve cruelty. This is a medieval book of cures for certain conditions that we had. So if we think we've got it bad now, imagine this. One treatment for gout involved stuffing a puppy with snails and sage, roasting it over a fire, and using the rendered fat to make a salve.
Oh my God.
Quite something. Another gout treatment suggests salting an owl, baking it until it can be ground into a powder, and then mixing the powder with boar's grease before rubbing it onto the body.
Jesus Christ, we were a stupid lot, weren't we?
God, and finally, a treatment for cataracts. Mum, if you're watching, maybe this could work for your eyes. A treatment for cataracts involves mixing the gallbladder of a hare with some honey before applying it to the eye with a feather over the course of 3 nights. As Dr. James Freeman says, these recipes were a reminder of the pain and precarity of medieval life before antibiotics. So if antibiotics don't work, we're going to be doing that. You're going to be attaching salted owls to your eyes.
Silver Heart says, how on earth did they come up with that? What was the thought process?
This is back in the day when you could just go down the shops and buy a swan or an owl.
There's some good news here. I'm always banging on about, I hate how fast cyclists cycle in fucking parks.
Yes.
It's like, what's wrong with them? It's not the velodrome.
Yes.
Well, the royal parks are going to get tough on speeding cyclists, and there's going to be signs everywhere saying between 5 and 20. I think even 20 is a bit fast. Miles per minute.
Well, yeah, because they are speeding along a little bit
per hour, not
5
per minute.
miles per minute. 5 miles per minute per hour.
So yeah,
that would be real. That would be really fast. That's a great photo above it. What's the photo? Is that a photo of a real creature above it? A horned.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
This is a fun story here. In America, they have the USA Mullet Championships have been in full swing. And where does it take place? Of course, nowhere other than Texas. And here are some of the contenders.
Poor child.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, they all look like they're from
Our
the
girls love mullets.
They all look like they're from the cast of Neighbours, don't they?
I don't like mullets.
I'm not a mullet fan.
Our girls love them, no doubt.
And of course, there's one for.
Oh, he's got a Union. He's got
Union Jack, babe. That's right. He's got a Union Jack on the side of his
flag.
head. And you're gonna. You've got some sad news there, haven't you?
Well, farewell to Mrs. Bouquet, Mrs. Bucket's neighbour. She died at 91. As you know, Mark and I have a real thing against when people say, "Oh, well, it's a good age. She's had a good life." Because for all those that loved her, family and friends, she's gone, and it's just horrible at whatever age it is.
I hate that when people say,
I thought she was so fantastic. I absolutely loved that show. In fact, I might watch one later. Should we watch one? Let's have a bit of nostalgia.
It reminds me of my
nan
so much. Patricia
so
Routledge is just
Mark's
so like my nan.
Nan was identical to her. But Mrs. Bucket's neighbour, what was her name? Josephine Tewson is the actress's name. She appeared as Elizabeth Warden. She was married. Now, does anyone know this? Who was she married to? Famous actor. Oh, his picture's there. Can't do it. Leonard Rossiter. I never knew that.
That's not Leonard. Oh, it is Leonard Rossiter. Doesn't he look different there?
They were married.
This is you're going to love this story, guys. This is a kind of funny story with a bit of a picture attached. Look at this. Someone came home in New Zealand, and when they arrived home, they were greeted by this. A seal had broken into their home, shocked the cat, and then relaxed in the garden afterwards. So he had to wander about. It was seen passing from one room to another.
A seal.
We
saw a seal.
They were 150 miles away from the coast in New Zealand, and yeah,
God, how bizarre.
Yeah,
they are such beautiful creatures.
And like the father to the kids in the house said, the children were oblivious to the fact that not many mates have a seal visiting. So of course the kids are so excited that they had. That's not particularly. Look, there he is, just padding around the house. Look, you come in and you see that.
Incredible.
It's
Yeah,
like
I'd freak.
toffee at the bottom of the stairs, isn't it?
I would scream my head off. I wonder what they did to get.
Oh, this is funny.
So look at these gorgeous pictures.
It's a perfect.
Aren't they just? Look at. What's your favourite? I like the one in the toilet. Look. It's perfect.
Oh, that one there. Yeah, look at that.
Look at him.
Oh.
What do you think of that, guys? Cats, they are funny creatures, aren't
It's
they?
a perfect fit. And if you want, if you are,
I'm just a bit worried about Toffee.
She's lying on my bag as a guard. Anyone wondered what Shane McGowan's been up to recently? He's about to publish his artworks. The only reason I wanted to show this was I found one of his drawings just quite amusing. There he is, obviously, lovely Shane, obviously. But look at that, badly drawn Bono. He says proudly, "I will use anything." I don't think he's going to make to draw anything with. So it looks like he could draw. And of course, for any streaming Game of Thrones fans, of course, all over the papers this weekend is yes, there be dragons, but real power lies with the women. It's a female skewing prequel to Game of Thrones. It's the biggest streaming series event of the year.
Oh, I want to watch it.
And you know, lots of people worried about whether it will deliver on what the Game of Thrones did. Lots of people frustrated with the end of Game of Thrones and how it went out on a bit of a whimper. Not for everyone, but for some. But by all accounts, all the early reviews coming in on this are incredibly positive. So I will be reviewing it, or we will be reviewing it on the channel after the first episode has landed.
When does it land? And
it broadcasts, I think it's on Sky Atlantic from Monday. So so there you go. So yeah, lots of stuff about House of Dragons. House of Dragons. So House of the Dragons. Sorry.
So next, we've got to do happy birthday to Kirsty. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kirsty. Happy birthday to you. So if this was your first time with this, A Coffee Moaning, I hope you enjoyed it. As I say, we're here Monday to Saturday. Sundays, we do our live.
I can just say, Neve just says, yeah, us Gen Z are boring. I've not recognised anyone for the past 5 minutes. We've talked about, sorry, go.
So guys, yes, so tomorrow will be the live No Name Sunday show in the members area. If you want to join the members area, it's 37 pence a week. And where is it? The join button. Go to the join button underneath us and it will tell you how to do it.
Yeah, and MeToo, that was outrageous, wasn't it? Aussie TV channel chief executive officer called Amelia Clark dumpy. Can you believe that?
It's like when I get called matronly. I hate it.
Oh, God.
So bloody, it's so annoying.
Anyway, guys.
Matronly. I've got big boobs.
Why do it always comes back?
Matron.
Oh, matron.
Ooh, matron.
She's infamy. He's infamy. He's got, oh my God, he's got it in for me. Do you remember that? Infamy, infamy. He's got it. Okay, guys.